messages. At this time, we would like to set the stage or reset the stage for a special dialogue with IGE Chairman Dr. Chung Kwang-woo. And we will begin very shortly. So this special dialogue will be between IGE Chairman Dr. Chung Kwang-woo as well as MSCI Chairman Henry Fernandez, who joins us in real time in New York. I know that Henry has been a very staunch supporter of IGE conferences in the past. He was planning on, I believe, recording a message first, but really wanted to be as interactive with our conference attendees as possible. So he joins us at a late time in New York, and so we're very happy to be able to have him here today. Perhaps, Dr. John, I might ask you to join us on the stage. I believe Henry Fernandez is already joining us online. And once everything is set, we will begin our dialogue. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for joining us, Chairman John. And can we check whether Henry is joining us online? Here you are. Good morning or good evening to you.
Hi, Henry.
Yeah, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Can you see me?
Yeah, but I cannot hear you.
Oh, is that right? Oh. Okay. Is that
Much better. Much better.
much better? Oh, no. I will
Yeah.
shout then from now on. Okay. Thank you very much, Henry, for joining us at this conference live from New York. This must be a late hour over there. But the reason we wanted to have Henry for our conference, as you know, is that you have been an indispensable partner of our international conference. So we cannot start without having your insight about how the capital market will evolve in the future. Because that is so very important part of our conference. That is that the main theme is how best we revitalize our economy. At one point, we were high flyer with respect to macroeconomic performance, but in recent years, our potential growth rate has been coming down. And a lot of factors are contributing to that. And this conference is intended to look at the power of financial dynamism, if you like. Productive finance, meaning that we encourage flows of money into more productive, innovative areas in our economic system. So, having said that, I would like to get started with you. How would you define the next generation of developed market? Now, I may go into deeper on this a little later, but as a big picture. Now, we would like to have enhance our capacity for more dynamic, inclusive, and productive financial sector. And since you have been a visionary shaping global capital markets, perhaps let us know how we position ourselves to move forward and move upward to be one of the leading financial power in the world based on our strength in manufacturing side. Relatively weak performance has been the case with the financial sector. So broadly, and then later we may move into more specific questions. So how you envision the future of a global market, especially developed market, and how should Korea be better prepared to be in that league, developed market league from now?
Well, first of all, can you hear me okay?
Yes, just fine. Yeah.
Perfect. So, first of all, I'd like to offer my sincere gratitude to you, Dr. John, for the friendship that we've had over more than 20 years, for the invitations to this incredible forum. The work that you all do is pivotal to a good dialogue, good understanding, discussion of the issues, and hopefully a takeaway with some action to improve the world, especially the world in South Korea. Thank you also for your kind words about me and the work that we do. I'd like to start briefly with just a quick review of history. More than 200 years ago, the biggest economies of the world were agricultural economies based in goods that were farmed and also in commodities. The Industrial Revolution began to happen in the Western countries around 1800, as you remember, or as you know, and that ushered a new era. Eventually, the Industrial Revolution became well established, and a new era of the Information Revolution took place. And now we're entering a new world. So the important thing is there's always going to be transitions in the global economy. That always happens. The question is, what is the reaction of countries to adapt to the new industries, to the new world, and capitalize on those opportunities to create economic growth and prosperity? So what we see today is a transition going on in the world into a few industries that are going to define the next 50 years or so. Clearly, technology is one of them. That is already happening. It's already in place, and it's accelerating with the application of AI in everything that we do. Biopharma is an industry that is developing very fast in the West and now in China. China has made enormous strides in the development of biodrugs, and we're witnessing that right now. Then energy, renewable energy. The $100+ trillion economy has been fueled by fossil fuels, and that economy needs to depend on renewable energy now. And last but not least, what I call the capital industries, which are made of finance, i.e. banking, but also investments at all levels: venture capital investment, growth equity investments, public market investments, and the like. So when you look at the countries, some countries have gone through those transitions well, some countries haven't. One of the lessons learned in China was they couldn't make the transition to the Industrial Revolution. So they lost 200 years of progress and economic growth and all the consequences that came with that in terms of invasion of their country and the like. So the challenge right now to South Korea is how is it going to respond to these trends? It clearly became, it went from an agricultural country to an industrial country in a very rapid way, much more than almost any other country in the world, probably with the exception of China. It has embraced the information revolution in technology, now in AI, production of chips, and the like. The question is, what is Korea going to do to embrace the new industries, especially the capital industry? In terms of, as time goes by, the Korean economy will continue to generate enormous savings that will need to be invested. What is the state of the venture capital industry in the country? What is the state of the growth equity, of private credit, of the capital markets? And what is the state of the country's position in those industries in the global ecosystem of finance and investments? Is it a local, national financial center? Is it a regional one? Or is it a global one? So I think what we're witnessing today is tremendous change, but enormous opportunities for countries to define who they are and how they prosper in this new era and in these new industries. And I think, particularly given this conference, I think the country of the Republic of Korea has enormous opportunities that it can capitalize to become a real large hub of finance and investments. But there are a number of things that the country has to do to achieve that. It doesn't come by itself. It comes with a setting and an event of action and a number of actions and a number of policies to be able to achieve that.
Okay, thank you very much for your encouraging statement. Now, actually, I'm very happy to have this conversation this morning at a time Korean stock market has been doing exceptionally well, thanks to a number of factors, including your active support for Korean market internationally, as I understand it. And also, what's important here is that it's good to have a strong equity market for now, but eventually what matters more is how best do we sustain this solid upward trend. So what I'm asking is that you mentioned that it's important to mobilize domestic savings for a very innovative field investment. But how best Korea can attract long-term capital flows, portfolio investment flows from major institutional investors around the world? What specific areas do we need to pay more attention to?
So any great financial system and country built on that financial system has a very large two-way flow. It's a question of importing capital, i.e. attracting capital that will come into the country either in the form of foreign direct investment or into the capital markets, the equity market, the bond market, and also the ability to export savings, export capital to be invested around the world. So Korea has the advantage of having both. Korea is a big exporter of capital, foreign direct investment, you all know that. The pension fund system is one of the largest in the world and is investing globally. The citizens of Korea buy a lot of products from around the world and the like, but it's also trying to import capital in order to bring capital to its companies in the public markets and venture capital, into new ventures and the like. So that system has to be well lubricated, has to be transparent, has to be open, has to be liquid, has to be unencumbered by nationalism and regulations. It has to be fair. The foreign investor needs to be treated equally to a domestic investor in all these forms. So I think what we face right now in Korea is that it's an extremely well-developed economy, industrially, for sure, technology-wise, healthcare-wise. As you know, the health care tourism industry is large there. A lot of people go to the country to get surgeries and other forms of great operations and great treatment. The question is, what is the country going to do to one of the most important industries in the world, which is the capital industry, the investment industry? I normally say that the investment industry is the most important one in the world, not because healthcare is not important when you're sick, not because education is not important when you need to put your kids through university. It's because nothing else is possible without capital. Capital is what fuels economic growth. Therefore, I think the country right now needs to look into the mirror and say, we have been innovators, we have been determined people in advancing the state of pretty much every industry. Today, nuclear power, for example, is an industry that has been largely invested in, and Korea is one of the top 5 producers and the top 5 exporters of nuclear reactors and the like for renewable energy. So everything you put your mind to, you are successful. The question is, are you going to put your mind into what it takes to develop a large capital industry, a large financial center, a large financial hub that has that ability to attract capital and export capital freely, without encumbrance, without restrictions, with a lot of trust, without a lot of accessibility, efficiency, innovation, liquidity, and all of that. That's what great countries do nowadays. So eventually, the countries that don't have the capital to be invested across the spectrum are going to have a tough time. The capital for new ventures on one extreme, the capital for being in an IPO or in a publicly traded company on the other end, the capital for bonds. So I think that there is still some significant restrictions in the country that we can talk about shortly that needs to be addressed if you really want to become one of those incredible financial centers that have the ability to attract capital, but also export capital freely and become a major hub for the world.
Thank you, Andy. Time is running out, so perhaps this may be our last question. I cannot let you go without asking this question because, MSCI has become a household name here in Korea because we have so much aspiration to move up from emerging market category to developed market index, part of that index. So as you well know, we started talking about this 20 years ago. Still, it's not done. At one point we were close, but it's not there yet. But now, within this administration, it constitutes a very important policy agenda to move up to developed market index, because that way we can access greater pool of portfolio money that could be coming into Korean market. So for the remainder 2 minutes or so, please tell us why, how this time will be different, meaning that this will make it. We'll make it this time around. What has to be done?
So what I'm going to say applies to both. Not only the conditions that MSCI needs to see for the upgrade of the country from emerging market to developed market, but also it's the same conditions that apply to the creation of a financial center, anywhere in the world, but in this case, in Korea. The other thing that I'd like to say is that we at MSCI, especially me personally, will not have more satisfaction than to see the country being upgraded for a lot of reasons, including the incredible success that the country has had in a lot of different areas. The obstacles to this upgrade start with the free trading of the currency in the spot market everywhere in the world. Unless that is fixed, it is very hard to belong to the family of developed markets. There is no developed market in the MSCI family that has restrictions on the free accessibility and trading of its currency in major financial centers in the spot market, not the forward market only, not the futures market, but in the spot market. It is very hard for global investors to rebalance their portfolios of trillions of dollars all at once, sitting in a city like New York or Frankfurt or London or someplace like that, if they cannot buy and sell the currency in their home market freely and without restrictions. So that's a big impediment to the upgrade, plus the creation of a financial hub. The second one is the ability of investors to come in and out and the purchase and sales of securities without a lot of restrictions and registrations and ID requirements and the paperwork and all of that. That's not how the way it works around developed markets. And lastly, and also importantly, is the ability to create financial products based on the data that is coming out of the securities markets in Korea in the form of futures contracts, options, swaps, and the like. And we just launched an MSCI Korea Index Futures for the first time. It took about 20 years to achieve it. It is trading in Frankfurt, and we're very proud of that. It's been very successful. But again, it's a small step in the journey to really develop the country and be promoted to developed market.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for helping Korea and in the international market to have a better access to foreign investors through your new investment product. Appreciate that very much. And as you said, we now know what has to be done to move up. It's up to us to decide and act accordingly for better future of our capital market and better future of our macroeconomy situation. Thank you very much, Henry, for your insightful views and suggestions, friendly advice. Appreciate that very much, and I look forward to seeing you in person very shortly. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And thank you for your friendship.
Thank you.
And good luck with the conference.
All right, thank you.